Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of the BJJ Foxcast. I am your host, Alex Martinez, and today we are at the Roll for Beer at Goldwater in Tempe. New location, right?
Newish, yeah.
New location. Fantastic place. We got about 1,200 square feet of mat space, roughly.
I don't know about that.
Come on. I'm giving it a little credit.
It's a lot. Got a decent amount, that's for sure.
There's 10 people rolling on the mat right now. Plenty of room. I think it's fantastic. This facility is really nice, man. The AC is awesome. And if you're not here, you're missing it. This one will probably drop this week. I think I'll drop this one, and then I'll drop the other one next week. But, yeah, man. Hey, let's talk a little bit about all the jiu-jitsu that we've been doing.
Wait, who am I?
Yeah, sorry. I'm with Tojo. Alex Tojo Craig.
Now I know who I am.
Yeah. Sorry about that, Tojo.
God.
You know,
disrespect.
People just kind of assume that you're going to be on the show now. Yeah. They don't even ask.
You know what's funny, though? Is like nobody assumes that Colin Opper's on.
Or Marcos Day. Marcos Day wanted a shout-out. That's a shout-out. He's not on the show.
Or on the mats. Either.
Or on the mats. Oh, no, he was on the mats yesterday.
But he's not right now.
That's true. He's not on the mats today.
Yeah.
So I'm probably going to have Nate come on here in a little bit. He looks pretty terrible right now. He's pale. I think he had one round.
You know, the running around the neighborhood doesn't do the cardio justice.
No. Yeah, that's the first thing he said. He's like, he's been running. That doesn't mean shit.
Yeah, that's adorable.
Yeah, that. Yeah, man. So similar to our last podcast at the Roll for Beer at Tipsy Cactus, they just basically, before the place opens, we push everything aside. We set up, the mat space. Honestly, the mat space is like, what, maybe 600 square feet, something like that?
I mean, it's a lot better. If you've been to the Tipsy Cactus, I would say it's probably 50% more, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's decently a lot more.
Yeah, decently a lot more.
I wouldn't say it's double, but it's close.
Well, we got 10 people rolling on the mat freely, and we got one guy sitting, because he doesn't have a training partner. So we could probably have 12 people on the mat easily, which is really cool.
There's plenty of empty space here. I mean, obviously you got to mind your boundaries, just like any other school.
Yeah, just like anywhere else, right? It's I think for the most part, it's a good setup. But so the place opens up, a couple hours before they actually open for business, and doors are open. It's an open mat. You walk in, sign a waiver, and then you just start rolling. And then afterwards, we just stick around, have a couple beers, and call it a good day.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I love it, man. I just love I'm kind of sad that we missed the San Diego one. Why did we miss that one?
I was out of town competing. I don't know why. You probably are just lazy.
Yeah. Lazy. Yeah. But it went over really big in San Diego. The owner of the facility loved it, and I think the owner's son does jiu-jitsu. So I think that's the story we got, right? The owner's son does
in San Diego.
In San Diego,
Yep.
and then
Butter Smooth is here.
Oh, Joey with Butter Smooth. Now we can ask him about his event coming up. What's up? Hey, we got to get you on, man. We got to get you on. So anyway, so they said we basically went out there. Aggro Eddie went out there with Aggro Brand clothing at aggrobrand.com. Went out there and set up his booth and got it all hooked up. I think Eddie set it up from here, right? Got the guy involved. I don't know how he knows the guy.
Eddie's always in Southern California. I mean,
that's right. Yeah,
he's a beach guy.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
Ocean guy.
Whatever.
I don't know how.
Beach guy, ocean guy.
What do they like to go as?
I don't know. All I know is I was in Huntington Beach not too long ago, and the amount of homeless people on the beach was incredible.
No, they weren't homeless people. They're surfers.
They're surfers. No. The surfers were actually surfing because there was like a big line of surfers on the, like in the water. And that pier? Have you ever been out there? There's that pier that goes way into the water.
There's always a pier. I don't know what you're
Well, I mean, it's Huntington Beach. It's a big pier. I walked up here, and there's like tons of surfers out there. And then I walked down the beach. I went and got a cup of coffee, and I walked down the beach. And I thought, man, people are just relaxing on the beach, man. This is freaking cool.
Oh, wait, they're living there.
Yeah, they live there. And then there's like homeless guy, and then like a family with their kids playing in the sand. Like, they had to pretend that the guy laying there didn't poop in the area that the kids are digging in the sand.
It's a homeless person litter box.
Yeah. What? Dude, okay. So I grew up in South Texas. We would go to Boca Chica Beach. If for those of you in South Texas, you guys know what I'm talking about. No one else in the world knows about Boca Chica Beach. Well, I don't know. It's probably hotels there now.
Or Brownsville, Texas.
Brownsville, Texas, exactly. So Boca Chica Beach is like adjacent to South Padre Island, which was like the big getaway place. But it was empty, dude. Like you could just drive cars out there and go fishing and stay for the weekend. And the amount of poop that is buried in Boca Chica Beach. You know what I mean? And that's like not even homeless people.
Don't the crabs eat it? I don't know.
They might. They might. Something eats it.
Yeah,
I mean, eventually,
I'm sure,
right?
Yeah.
Erosion.
Nothing goes to waste.
Erosion takes care of everything, right? Anyway, but yeah, so, but then you go into the town, right? Into Huntington Beach, the town, and it's gorgeous. The houses are gigantic and very quiet, very clean.
Yeah.
Just interesting, man. People just like, it's like two different worlds within a mile of each other.
Yeah.
It's wild, man.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, right by where you and I live, which is like, I would say it's probably middle class to upper middle class area.
Yeah.
Right off the golf course, like right on the sidewalk there. I told you about this. I drove by and no lie, a guy was taking a shit on the sidewalk. Like right off of Dobson.
Yeah.
Like literally like 6 feet away from Dobson Road. He was taking a shit on the sidewalk and I was like, that can't be real.
Dude, I'm telling you, it's like good a place as any.
Yeah. Whatever. I mean, you gotta go.
Yeah. I mean, I think like if the homeless should live anywhere, it should be on golf courses.
Yeah, because fuck golf courses.
Fuck golf courses. And there's
golf.
plenty of room.
All you people who play golf. Quit.
I love you. If you play golf, please listen to the show.
And pickleball.
Now,
Mamlin.
I can't get behind pickleball, dude. Like I don't get it. It's like lazy man tennis, right?
Yeah.
It's like ping pong, but like you're running around.
Matt Mamlin just posted the thing about how he's like the number 1 person. He won a gold. I was like,
well, he's the best pickleball player I know.
So you're the best out of all of the retirees. Got
it. We're gonna get so much hate, but I don't give a shit about a pickleball player.
I don't give a shit. Well, you want to paddle me, Daddy?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. But they're popping up everywhere, man. Those pickleball.
It's
whatever.
definitely hot right now.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Whatever, man. Oh, yeah, and I love how like something like catches a little steam, and people are like, "Oh, it's the fastest growing sport, bro." It's pickleball.
Yeah.
Relax. It's not going to be
because
like,
of all the other sports are like already peaked and they're hanging out at the top.
Yeah. There's still millions of people doing that.
You're right. No one's watching football, basketball, soccer, anything
No.
anymore. Yeah, they gave up on that.
So that was another thing. Like last night when we were having dinner, that house party that was going on in that that little room at that restaurant.
You mean the Go Cowboys as they were losing? I don't know if they lost. They probably did.
I can see like being passionate about something, but like you have nothing to do with the outcome of anything.
No.
All you do is like provide them with money.
You did one of two things. You were either born in Texas, so you just by default are a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Yeah.
Or your parents were born in Texas,
right?
And they made you a Dallas Cowboys fan. Like,
well, my dad never watched football. My mom never watched football. But my dad was like if it was like a cool thing, like if they had if somebody invited him to a baseball game, it better be like a suite.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He wasn't a fan. But I had my best friend was my neighbor back in the day, back when I was a kid, and his dad was like a diehard Cowboys fan. Like the world stopped on Sunday, right when the Cowboys were playing. They were always on because it's Texas, and I remember walking through his living room, and we're like talking and all this shit, and his dad's like shutting us the fuck, like not even nice, like shut the fuck up, and because the Cowboys were on.
Be quiet! I have an impact on the game.
But that led me to think like, wow, this must be important. Like there's an adult, telling me to shut the fuck up for this game. So I would sit and watch football with him.
It's good rules for your life. Though.
Yeah.
You should just
shut the fuck up. Yeah. Me especially.
Yeah.
And then now I have a microphone and I have audio recording.
You
and
made
video.
it your job to not shut the fuck up.
And you will listen to every fucking word I have to say. What was that movie? The Wedding Singer, and he's like, "You were listening to every damn word I have to say."
Fuck, I haven't seen that movie in at least a decade.
Sir, if you say one more word, I will choke you with this microphone cord. Anyway.
That's another one that needs to go on the list of, I need to rewatch that.
Yeah.
Hopefully it holds up.
Yeah. I'll tell you the one that held up was Tropic Thunder.
Dude,
Bro.
I say this every time we talk. Anybody talks about it. I'm like, how fucking underrated is that movie? It is a perfect comedy.
It is a perfect comedy.
It's offensive.
It's extremely
AKA
offensive.
hilarious.
Hilarious. Yeah, fucking hilarious.
Let's put Tiger Bomb on this jungle's nuts. Danny McBride in that movie is perfect.
Yeah, perfect. Perfect. He was the demo guy, right?
Oh god,
Yeah.
yes.
The
And
demo guy.
then of course you have like, Robert Downey Jr. in blackface, and everyone's like, "Oh, that's offensive." It's like, that's the point.
That's the point.
He's showing how offensive like all these pretenders are. He's hilarious.
Oh my god!
In that.
And the way he talks about that movie is fucking hilarious. It's like,
I don't think you should do that. His mom was like, "I don't think you should do this."
I have a bad feeling. Yeah. But that movie held up. There's very few that that I would say like I'm gonna make time to watch this movie. Tropic Thunder is on that list.
I've never like had that be on, and I didn't want to sit down and watch it.
Right.
Because
Yes.
it's never not funny.
Right. Yeah. So if you could what is your favorite like movie? Like if you could define like this movie had an impact and I love it. Which movie is that?
Oh Jesus. Well,
I have two.
I've become jaded. I would have said the Star Wars trilogy, the original trilogy, but it is become bastardized by Disney.
Well, yeah. I mean, they just capitalized on the nerdery, right? I mean,
No, they're trying to capitalize on social commentary, and they're trying to throw it in, which is fine. That's fine, but they're also like shitting on like the source material, which is like. That's the whole point of buying into a franchise is to use the source material to get and gain the fandom.
Right.
But they basically are like, hey, all the fans, fuck you. We don't care about you.
Yeah.
It's like, well, that's why it's such a big franchise. Star Wars, Star Trek, all these big Marvel, DC. Like, you can't shit on the source material because that's the whole reason that those franchises are popular. And look, we got Aaron Wilson in the house.
Oh shit, Aaron Wilson.
Speaking of sports team fanboys,
Aggro Jiu-Jitsu royalty is in the house.
Aaron, come say hi. Say something. It's a camera. There's no camera.
There's cameras everywhere. Oh, okay. There's cameras there. Here, grab a mic. Yeah, here you go.
Aaron's like, fuck it, I'm on.
Aaron Wilson is on the show, ladies and gentlemen.
How we doing, fellas?
We are doing fantastic. Grab the headphones so you can hear me yell at you.
Well,
fuck it, we'll do it live.
We'll do it live.
I gotta say I'm a little embarrassed right now.
Why?
I think I was wearing the same outfit when I was in your podcast last time. And I have like
What are you,
50
poor?
aggro shirts. And I'm like,
All you have to do is walk over there and ask
know.
Eddie for a shirt.
Yeah.
I'm gonna need to make an outfit change here soon.
So so tell me about your competition in the last month. You've been pretty fucking busy, dude.
Yeah, pretty busy losing.
Hey, sometimes that's what
Yeah, no,
happens.
I mean, dude, I've been going against some tough guys,
Yeah.
So,
no lie.
I got what's that cat's name I lost to at the Phoenix Open? Him and his brother are really good. I'm spacing.
Nagai.
Yeah,
Nagai,
I got
yeah.
Jackson Nagai, and then
Yeah.
I got that kid from Lloyd Irvin at the ADCC Arizona.
Yep.
Dorsey. I guess
That was a tough match,
pretty
dude.
good. I guess he submitted Marcio like at Euros. Yeah,
Wow.
it was a close match. I did well
Yeah.
against him, and then man, Oscar.
The
got
black
me.
guy? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
That guy was pretty game.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a good match, man.
Yeah.
I was right there, but yeah. Anyways, I just gotta get my body right, and then I'll be back at it here soon. I'm probably gonna take, about a month off or so.
Yeah.
Get some stuff done, and I say that as I'm about to hop on the mat and roll a little bit. But I'm just gonna flow and have a couple beers today and kind of chill,
Yeah. Tell me about your teammate winning this the UFC last night.
dude.
Damn.
Yeah, incredible. I mean, honestly, this got to be top 3 cleanest punches ever landed.
Unbelievable.
In any MMA, boxing, like that was insane. I mean,
Well, he just countered and then finished him
Aljamain
right hook.
saw it and like closed his eyes.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
right
Al-
over the top, too.
when
When you're a
Aljamain-
kid and like your fucking brother hit you, and you're just like, oh, you knew it was coming, dude.
Yeah, I think if he would have gone to his back and put his knees in front of him instead of turtled up, it may have been the stoppage would have still come, I think.
Yeah.
But it wouldn't have been that quick. But when he turtled up, he was like, wasn't defending.
Some people were saying it was early, but I'm like,
No,
he
I
wasn't
disagree.
doing anything.
Yeah.
Like,
No, I can see where they would say it was a little early, but at the same time, he got fucking dropped.
He got
Well, like,
rocked.
and he looked
20
like he was
seconds
just
from then
trying
he
to
was
fucking
done.
yeah. It looks like he was drowning on the ground, like
Yeah.
just trying to regain composure. But I've seen guys regain composure relatively easily after.
but Sean
that.
doesn't let up. Like that's
Yeah,
the
he
thing.
was still.
He wasn't going to give him that
He was
moment.
still
to-
dropping it on him.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
it was perfectly fine. Dude.
And like you
Yeah.
were saying last night, Tojo, O'Malley does such a great job of keeping his hands in front of him and like controlling
Keeping
that
the space,
distance.
yeah.
So I mean, he had to overextend to get a shot in.
Yeah.
And then that counter punch was just on
Exactly.
the button, dude.
Well,
It was
he's so
perfect.
long. Like,
Yeah.
because we were talking about how they're like their body composition is so different. Like Sean is like so much thinner and leaner than him, and it was like, okay, but that's because he makes up that weight in his length
Yeah.
Dude,
Yeah.
to keep that distance.
yeah, they work on those combinations.
Also,
all the time.
something I noticed too is I feel like O'Malley's kind of matured as a martial artist. Like you know how usually he's like talking shit, flipping people off, that kind of thing, and he was just like a
I
martial
could
artist. in
tell
there.
like when they did the face off in the beginning. I was like, he looks fucking nervous, dude. Like,
I
it
didn't
wasn't
wanna
like his-
say that.
it
I didn't
wasn't
wanna
like
say
his
that.
usual. I was like, oh,
Yeah.
but he even said it.
Yeah.
He's like, this is the most nervous I've ever been in my life.
Yeah, he seemed almost timid, and I didn't want to say it, but yeah,
But
he
I
like
think
seemed
after
like that.
I think after he felt him out, he probably saw some openings.
Yeah.
And then he kind of got like into like his like, all right, we're going in around 2. Like, I'm ready to go, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Oh,
so
yeah.
cool, man. A local guy, and I just remember like just maybe 2 years ago, he's
Yeah.
like taking pictures with everybody at the tournaments.
Yeah.
He's
Still
doing the
does.
local tournaments.
He's
He's
a nice
does,
guy.
dude.
Yeah.
just a
Yeah.
nice guy.
We're at the trials, a year and a half now.
Yeah.
And he was getting swarmed, dude. He was stopping and shaking hands, taking pictures with everybody he saw. So
I mean, he's such a character. Like everyone loves him.
he's
like,
great. He's a good
yeah.
dude, man.
The,
he really is.
the bummer of it is now he's going to have to kind of go like hiding, and his people are going to have to do things for him that he would normally do for himself, right? Because
Yeah.
people are just he couldn't go to the store today and just pick up some shit from Albertsons.
Yeah, he just jumped himself into superstardom.
Yeah, which is
for
awesome.
sure.
Which is awesome. I think, I think he came up the right way, and all of his fights have been fantastic. And this is just a culmination of all that hard work, man. It's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, my buddy messaged me. We got some Soul Fighter guys out here right now.
Oh, nice.
One of my buddies from the school messaged me. He was like, get ready for 4 new white belts on Monday.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That HQ is going to be packed.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of guys, like, we were at Native New Yorker last night, and, like, one of the kids that, like, works there was all like, oh, I didn't want Sean to win, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, dude, he's a local guy. How can you not
can you
support
not?
a
Yeah.
local dude who fucking just is on, like, the biggest stage of MMA fucking winning? Like,
Yeah.
winning the championship. Like, come on. Fuck you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, that's a
He's a dork.
Precarious.
mean little combo there.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, that's great. And I'm just lucky to be around those guys, you know. So it's cool, and I'm happy for them, and I can't wait to see those guys and tell them congratulations in person, and
Yeah.
get back to grinding with them.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's
Savagery, yep.
cool. Yeah, dude.
What's
It's
next
awesome.
for you?
Trials.
Trials. Yeah.
East Coast
Okay.
Trials October. So I'll probably chill, the rest of this month, and then probably about halfway through September, I'm going to start getting back at it, going hard again. I just got some stuff lingering that I got to address, take care of before I,
What you should do is leverage your sponsorships and do like the European trials.
Oh,
That would be
so
freaking
I think
cool.
you have to be a resident.
Oh, do you? That's too bad.
Yeah. Otherwise, I think guys would just be
Flying everywhere.
going to Canada or Mexico
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do we just have East Coast, West Coast? There's no,
Yeah,
like,
it's just the two.
Canada or anything like that?
It's just the two. So,
Yeah.
I guess there's going to be a cap at like 256 competitors per division. So,
Yeah.
I was hoping they would use the opens
I was
to
thinking the same
create
thing.
a point system,
Yeah.
and because Aaron, like if you and I, like if I signed up for the trials and I faced you, it would be over in 30 seconds. I don't belong there.
it's just kind of, and it's kind of ridiculous too. Like, you'll go to the trials and you'll see guys and you're like, or even like guys locally that I know that are like blue or purple belts. It's like, they're like, yeah, I'm signed up. It's like, okay.
Why?
Yeah, you just made the day longer.
But here's the thing: it's like there are guys who are purple belts who can win.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. No, that's
but they
not-
should have to qualify.
I'm
Yeah.
not, I'm not talking about those guys.
But like, how do you weed them out? Like,
No,
yeah.
and that's the thing too. It's like man, but that's such a fucking long day, dude.
Yeah.
Dude, even the fucking opens.
Long weekend.
I didn't even. Everybody's like, how many guys in your bracket? I'm like, dude, I'm not even looking at it because I already know it was fucking stacked to begin with. I knew that. I don't need to look at all the fucking names. Like, it's daunting when you're like, oh, I got Oliver Taza in there. I got Michael Leary Jr. in there. I got Dorsey in there. I got all these fucking guys that are right there on like either top 10 or like on the cusp of top 10. And you got 10 of them in your weight class. Like, I don't even need to fucking look at it. I'm just going to take it one match at a fucking time.
Yeah, that's it.
You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah.
Otherwise, you just get mentally overwhelmed.
Let them worry about you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing. It's like, I don't even want to look. I just want to do my fucking thing, man. But, even the opens are, I think it was 6 to win.
Wow.
Yeah, for almost every division, it was like stacked.
Nuts, dude.
Even the women's divisions, which are historically really small compared.
Dude, my division and the division above mine are just so insanely fucking stacked.
Yeah,
it's nuts, man. Like, so many guys, dude.
Yeah, and it's one of those things. You look at the bracket and you're like, anyone could fucking win.
Did you do lightweight or middle?
I did 76 kilo.
76 kilos.
Which, by the way, if anyone can give me an explanation on why for the trials and the actual ADCC it's 77 kilo, but for the opens it's 76 kilo, I would love an explanation why.
They want more people to make weight for the trials.
Cutting that last pound and a half or 2 pounds or whatever.
2.2.
This is fucking stupid. Why are we doing this? I just don't know. Is there any?
I can't imagine why they would do that.
I don't know what.
Ask Mo.
Shit. Yeah.
Speaking of like running those organizations, like Seth running both of these organizations right now, man, he needs to hire a staff because that fight to win yesterday was really small.
So it was whack. Yeah.
So I signed up to do it. He hit me up. He's like, "Hey, you want to fight Gabe?" It's like, "Well, it's funny you said that. I just fought Gabe on Saturday, and no, I'm out. I got a little injury right now." And he's always Seth's always been cool to me, and he's flown me out, and he's been great to me. But man, I hopped on Greg McClarty's Fight TV login on my phone.
Shout out to Greg at Control Physical Therapy.
He should be here. I've talked a lot of shit to him. So. Yeah. Anyways, I hopped on his login and I watched it, and I was just like, okay, the stream looks like crap.
Yeah.
The energy feels low.
Dude, so I went there.
And now there's railings around the fucking mat?
Dude, they had to do that for the convention center. The convention center, the fire marshal said that they had to
better never do that again.
Which was more dangerous. It was more dangerous.
Yeah, you're going to break your neck on
Imagine someone's head or leg or arm getting stuck in one of those as they fall out.
Well, imagine
I'm worried about a fucking neck.
Yeah, a blast double and,
into the railings.
Dude,
yeah.
It looked bad. It did not look like a good event.
To be fair, they should put padding on like that first 4 feet outside of the mat.
That's what the people are for.
they're the
fucking land on a kid.
Dude,
be a man.
You haven't lived until you've gone into the fucking crowd.
Into the concrete.
All right.
Oh, God.
But no, it was so small, and it was like, what do you? And I heard that like the athletes were like on a message system, and they were like, hey, you guys need to sell more tickets. It was like, you gave us 3 days.
Yeah.
So when he sent that message out and was like, hey, it's still happening, yada, yada, yada. And it was like fucking
Wednesday.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I'm not doing it.
Yeah. I don't blame you.
I can't do this last minute shit.
Yeah.
Top of that, like I said, everybody they're offering me is like my buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's
train
a bummer.
with like every week. I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't want to fucking fight Gabe and Oscar again. Like
Gabe looked really good. Oscar looks pretty good. He fought Josh Cisneros, which, Josh is a savage, and he held his own.
I watched it.
Yeah,
I watched it. He got out of some submissions, and I don't know what Oscar's game plan was, and I'm going to talk to him about it.
He seemed more timid than he usually plays.
Well, he is. He's going against probably the best.
One of the best. Yeah,
I mean,
guys.
Josh could win the next ADCC.
Yeah.
But he seemed like he was scared to get into his game.
Yeah,
like he didn't trust his game.
Yeah,
and then when he finally went into his game, it seemed like he didn't have the confidence in it, and then he got shut down. So it was like, I don't know. Like it would be like, me going in and being real shaky about my wrestling, and then shooting a half-ass shot, and then it not working, and then getting in my own head. I feel like that's what happened. Like he needs to just be confident and get right into his stuff. But this is part of Oscar's journey. That's his first, I would say, big title shot against a ADCC level guy. So you have these experiences and you build and you learn from him, and I think he's got all the tools to make it happen.
Absolutely.
So.
And he rises to the occasion too, Oscar.
Yeah,
I mean,
he's a gamer.
He's
dude.
a gamer. Yeah,
100%. And he gets better and better. So
I mean, both those boys, Oscar and Gabe, are super talented athletes, and they focus a lot of their game around like the leg lock game, obviously, right?
I would say Oscar's. I mean, they're brothers, but their games are completely different. Their builds are completely different.
Yeah.
Yes.
Their personalities are pretty different. It's funny, like they're like two opposite sides of like the spectrum for their games.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that Gabe doesn't have a good leg game or anything, but he's a pressure passer. He's gonna mount you. He's gonna smother you. He's heavy, and then Oscar's more of your swirling under you type of guy.
Yeah.
Going for legs and stuff. So,
But I mean, I would say like maybe 5 years ago, like being focused on the leg locks is definitely an advantage. But man, people are catching up quick.
Yeah.
You got to get. We always come back to this, like the fundamentals, man. You got to get back to the fundamentals: passing guard, retaining guard. Because if you can't do that, people know how to defend leg locks now.
100%.
Like, even like the guys who never focused on it before, it's a lot easier to learn how to defend than it is to learn how to attack, in my opinion.
Okay, guys, I got to get out there.
Yeah.
I just want to roll for a little bit. I got to take a pee too, but I'll come back a little bit later.
Yeah,
sir.
please. Thanks,
Let
Aaron.
me get a beer a little bit later. I'll come back.
Yeah.
Right on, brother.
Sweet. Thanks,
Good to see you,
guys.
man.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, I mean that's a good point. Like just talking about ADCC in general. Like you and I were talking about this a little bit a while ago. Like a lot of these guys, and I'm not talking about Gabe and Oscar, because Gabe and Oscar are both savages.
Yeah.
Like in their own right. Like,
for sure.
all around.
For sure.
But a lot of like the problem with like this new allure for the no-gi jiu-jitsu in general, right? Like you'll see white belts and blue belts who have like got really excited about the leg lock game, like, and which is really cool, like toe holds, knee bars, heel hooks, all the fucking cool and reaping, like all the cool shit, right? It's tons of fun. I love playing this game.
Yeah.
But then they when you're a white belt, blue belt, even purple belt, like you're learning that stuff at the expense of learning how to pass guard, or at the expense of learning, like it's like, oh, I don't have to pass your guard when I can just drop back on your
Exactly,
ankle.
yeah.
And I will be the first to admit, like when I was a white belt and I learned ankle locks, I don't have to pass De La Riva. I could just fucking scoop that ankle up and fucking ankle lock this guy.
Yeah.
That was my shit.
Yeah.
But like I also had to play catch up at blue belt, like learning how to pass guard.
Yeah, we're going to catch a little bit of grief talking about this, but I know time will prove us right.
I don't care. Like you need to learn fundamental jiu-jitsu.
100%. Yeah, it's like when I first started like really getting into tournaments. Now I started jiu-jitsu late. I started jiu-jitsu at 40.
Yeah.
But I was competing all the time, and all I wanted to do was win tournaments.
Yeah.
So I dedicated all of the time that I had to train to learn how to win tournaments.
Yep.
Well, I got my purple belt, and then I got mounted, and then I got submitted, and I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wait, you're like, wait, people know how to defend this shit?
Yeah, because that shit didn't work. So I really, I dumbed my game down significantly, and I'll tell you what, man, I got way better.
Yeah,
once
100%.
I did that. Yeah, I mean, there's no substitute for good fundamentals.
Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, because a guy who has who's got all these flashy techniques, the reality of flashy like YouTube jiu-jitsu is like, they look really cool, and a lot of times when you throw it on a guy who's never seen it before, yeah, you're gonna catch him.
Yeah.
But guess what? All of the really flashy, like low percentage shit is really easy to learn how to defend.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to learn how to defend than it is to learn how to do the technique.
Yeah. And have you noticed, like, when you're rolling with somebody who is not very fundamentally sound, they have decent jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
They have decent jiu-jitsu, but they're not fundamentally sound. You'll see them do movements that are just unnecessary.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain, but like you'll be in a really good, like, let's just call it like a good De La Riva, right?
Yeah.
And then they start inverting into a reverse when I'm already off balanced in your regular De La Riva. Like, why would you let me gain my balance again and risk a bad position when you have a good position? They're just doing things, I hate to say it, but kind of just to do it.
Yeah. No, I mean, a lot of those techniques are like a lot of the bolo stuff. Like, yeah, it's really cool. Like, you're trying to pass this guy's guard, you're trying. All right, he's not letting you have it. All right, now go bolo. But if you don't know how to, learn how to pass that guard.
Yeah, learn how to pass that guard. I mean, learn several variations of guard pass from the knee cut, from pressure passing, from flat half.
Here's the other thing that I noticed. A lot of people who are like De La Riva is a good example, because there's a bolo entry from the top De La Riva where you pin that hip and you roll over that leg that's usually on your hip, right? Cool. It's a cool technique. The reality is, though, that guy can reverse that on you.
Yeah.
And if you don't know how to like keep him from reversing it or how to recover when he tries, you're just learning the entry, but you're not learning like how to actually like, you know, solidify your position.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys like learn that first cool like YouTube jiu-jitsu technique or TikTok or, you know, Instagram reel technique that someone showed. But you like there's all of these techniques are actually systems,
right?
And people don't learn the system; they learn the techniques.
Correct. Yeah, yeah.
Right?
And there's fundamental principles within that system. Like, you know, if you keep if you bolo and your ass is in the air, you're going to get countered easily. Right. So a lot of people don't understand that piece, and they get countered like, oh, this shit doesn't work. No, bitch, you're doing it wrong. Right.
Well, like yesterday, like you and I were at the seminar with Jose Carlos. Like he was showing like, you know, deep half to, you know, the waiter sweep, which is like everyone knows the waiter sweep from deep half,
yes.
right? But he was showing that he was like, yeah, but I was also getting ankle locked because my foot's up in the air when you do that.
Yes.
And he grabs your ankle and you sweep him, but you're falling right in the ankle lock position. He's like, this is what I had to do after people started doing that.
Yep.
And it's like, that's part of that system. It's like, okay, cool, you have this like basically bulletproof sweep, but now you're sweeping that opponent into an attacking position.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? And just because you're on top doesn't mean you can't be attacked.
That's right.
Right? That's what guard is.
Yeah. And the little variation that he did on that waiter sweep where he said, my foot was here and I was getting, it's a setup for a toe hold, but all I did was I moved it here. Like he moved it 6 inches over, and now the toe hold wasn't there.
Right.
Those are the things that like we were talking about. Where he's teaching us the same stuff he taught us like 7 years ago, but there's so many more little details because he actually does this every single day. Yeah. You know what I mean? This is what he does. This is his game, and it was really fun, man. I enjoy it every time he comes to town. And he does a seminar. I'm there.
Dude, like he kept coming over to like I don't know if he did that with you and Rob. What was that?
Greg.
Yeah, sorry, Greg. But he kept coming up to Vin and I, and he's like, "Is the technique okay?" I'm like, "Why are you asking us?"
Yeah.
You know, it's like he almost was like a little insecure about it. But I was like, "No, dude, this is fucking good shit." Like, I mean, like. He did a good job at like starting at the white belt level and then working his way, progressing like more and more complex.
Yeah.
Because I definitely know at the end of that, like even some of the, like the brown and black belts were getting a little lost in like in the weeds of like what he was showing.
That inversion that he did, stuff like that. Yeah.
But it was like really cool because like at the beginning I'm like, oh god, deep half, waiter sweep, like we all know this one, right? Everyone in this room knows this one, but they don't. Like there's like white belts that were there that like definitely did not like know how to implement that correctly and all that kind of stuff.
And I think like just having. Like his ability is not lost on me because like I've known him for a long time, but I like the white belts that go there and don't take notes and don't ask questions. Man, you're missing out, man.
I was filming. I was like, oh, I'm gonna look at this stuff again.
Yeah. I have a ton of. Do you know the first time he came out and taught a seminar, he didn't let us film?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, back when he was like
when he was coming up.
Yeah,
he was coming up. Yeah, because I think at that time he was still competing in the adult division as a 35, 36-year-old.
Plus, I think that was a mentality, a little bit of an older mentality.
Yeah, old school mentality.
I think that's slowly going away.
Yeah.
You know, like there's really no secret jiu-jitsu anymore.
No, not really. Not really. Like, but yes and no.
People don't want to show what they're working on currently.
Yeah.
Right. Like even though maybe that's not a secret, but they don't want someone to know like, hey, I'm gonna go do Pan American Championship or go do Worlds or whatever, and they're like, oh, he's playing deep half right now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna learn how to shut down deep half so I can shut down Jose Carlos or whatever.
Yeah. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
But
there's Greg. There's Greg.
There's Greg. What's up?
What's up, Clardy?
So so the other thing that was really cool during the seminar is when the little tangent that he and Samir went on with that,
which turned into our last two techniques.
Yes,
magically. Yeah,
yeah, that was
a
cool.
lot of fun.
Yeah, that was really cool. And then getting an opportunity to be the Uki and feeling it.
Yeah,
you got to feel it.
And it was funny because he was he was showing Samir, and it's like you and I grew up in jiu-jitsu Samir he knows everything.
He's the wizard.
He knows everything.
Yeah, he knows everything.
But he was learning from Jose, and it's cool to see that there's so much technique out there that nobody knows everything.
Right.
Nobody.
Yeah. And there's always that little extra something that somebody knows. You're like, oh, I've been doing this for years. I didn't realize that.
Yeah. It was cool to watch Samir learning something.
Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. And when you learn something at that level, and then you go back and start watching matches, right? You're just kind of watching like whatever. You're watching matches, and then you see people doing those things. You're like, wow, that person knows what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's kind of cool. Yeah. But anyway, we got what, 6 people on the mat now, 7 people on the mat now.
Oh fuck, more beers. Here we go. Here we go.
We're gaining speed now. We're gaining speed.
We got Butter Smooth over here.
Butter Smooth is on the mat.
Yep.
Yeah. Aaron's on the mat, not being lazy. I love it.
For once in his goddamn
in his life. But yeah, so basically what happens during these 2-hour open mats is people just kind of cycle in, and we get people that will, stay for a couple of rounds, and then they just go home. And I think it's a really good testament to the community, because there are several different schools represented in this room, and no one gives a shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like, you're not allowed to be in here because you're not in my gang kind of bullshit. You know what I mean?
God, I love that that's what jiu-jitsu's become. Because even like when you and I started,
it wasn't that.
Yeah, there was definitely a little bit more of like, GD guys train with GD.
Yeah.
It was like kind of like that thing, and it was like, not anymore.
And worse than that, I'm probably going to catch some shit over this one.
Fuck it.
But worse than that, it was like, okay, so my instructor is no longer friends with this guy.
Oh, yeah.
So everybody in his school is like shunned.
Yeah.
You know
now
what, man?
I can't like my favorite blue belt over at that school,
right?
Because
we're not. We can't. I'm sorry, Tojo. We can't be friends anymore.
Your coach sucks. Because my coach hates your coach.
Someone who's not my dad said that you suck. Man, I'm so glad. I'm so glad it's evolved into what it is today, because cross training is the norm now. There is no, I don't know, man. There is no like, this is our school, and
what better way to get better than to like get all, because like I tell this to like my white and blue belts a lot, because they're the ones who like fall into this trap a little bit where they're like, I'm not progressing anymore. And it's like, no. All of your training partners are learning your game.
Yeah.
It's like, that's why it's so important for you to go to other schools to get different looks, different styles.
Absolutely.
And it's like your game will progress much more quickly if you're going and visiting other people, training with other groups. And even within your own school, you could like say like you're a morning guy, go train in the evening.
Right.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
That's an easy like intro to like cross training, quote unquote.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
Go fucking do the 6 a.m. class if you're an evening guy.
Yeah.
Go to the evening class if you're a 6 a.m. guy.
Yeah.
Like, I've had Alva come into the evening class. I'm like, dude, you got Worlds coming up, man. Everyone in the morning knows how you roll. You know how everyone in the morning rolls. Go fucking roll in the evening, man. You'll get different looks, and it's heavier there, and it's going to be a lot more difficult. And it's like you have to be pushing yourself like that if you want to be progressing your game.
100%. And also, jump into the no-gi classes. I mean, I
don't know about that.
I'm not. I'm guilty of this too, man. But it's people talk about no-gi like, oh my god, it's so fast and it's so much more dynamic. It really isn't. It really isn't.
It depends. Yeah.
I mean, I think trying to escape from a side control when somebody's got you locked down is way more frustrating and tiring than just moving freely because they don't have those handles.
Yeah, so I mean, something that I can like advise for a lot of you, like the gi specific guys, is like there is a lot to be said about learning to not be grip dependent.
Yeah, I love that. Yeah,
right? Learning that like, oh, if I can't get his like, because we've all rolled with like a guy. Say you're playing half guard, and you want to get the pant grip, and his fucking pants are just skin tight.
Yeah,
right, and you can't control his you can't get that pant grip that you're used to doing that that sweep from. And it's like, well, you don't need to necessarily have those grips on the pants. Yes, that's a big plus. If you can get that sleeve grip or whatever, yeah, you're anchored to that guy.
Yeah.
But if you rely on that and then suddenly you can't because maybe his sleeve's pulled up or whatever,
right?
And that sleeve and that grip isn't there, now what are you going to do?
You're. I mean, I hate to say you're screwed, but you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't know what to do, but like if you learn like through like training no-gi, you're like, oh, I can actually just grab his wrist.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
It's kind of nice.
What do you mean? I can just like grab the back of his neck, and now it's the same thing as a collar, or as a lapel choke,
100%
lapel grip.
Yeah, 100%, man. And getting used to those grips. Now there's certain techniques that I'll teach that I'm like, I'm using all no-gi grips because I learned it in no-gi.
Yeah.
Right. And they're like, oh, don't you want to grab the collar? I'm like, yeah, you can, but this is how I learned it. So, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
You're still controlling the head, just a different way.
Yeah.
You know, so I think it helps.
Well, so you have an athlete at your school. I think he's a white belt. He has one hand, right? What's his name?
Anthony.
Great
guy.
Great guy.
Great guy.
And
Yeah.
when we were doing guard pulls the other day, and it was like for him, like, and it was gi class. Like he was he was grabbing my sleeve with his hand, and then he like kind of was like trying to pull guard with just a sleeve grip. I'm like, but one time he did use the collar grip. I'm like, use the collar grip like it's a collar.
Yeah.
Or
The neck.
The neck. Yeah. Use that grip around the neck because like you can still control my posture, which is all that collar is really doing.
That's it.
Is keeping that like good control of the distance and good control of the posture, right?
Yeah.
I'm like collar tie with your hand that's deformed a little bit.
Yeah.
And then get that sleeve grip, and it's no different.
No difference. Yeah. And I encouraged him to watch Jean-Jacques Machado.
Yes.
I was like, just
Yes.
study him, man. Like, if I mean, he did it at the highest level and is still doing it. I mean, he's in his 60s.
Because I think he has the same thing.
Yeah, same thing.
It's like an underdeformed.
Yeah.
Underformed hand.
Yeah, underformed hand. And Anthony is like, his attitude is so freaking good, man.
Yeah.
I really enjoy coaching him.
Yeah.
Because he's so fucking coachable.
Yeah. Well, those guys are like people like who have like to grow up with like that kind of adversity are like, yeah, you're complaining because you're like tired. Like,
Right.
I have one hand
Yeah.
that works. Like,
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Yeah. You're complaining because somebody passed your guard. Go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun watching him kind of develop. You
Yeah.
know, he did his first tournament. Didn't go his way, but I have no complaints with the way he prepared.
What's up, Greg?
What's up, Greg?
Hey, are you
How doing,
hungover?
brother?
Are you hungover?
Are you hungover, buddy?
Jump on real quick.
Greg McClarty
Jump
is
on real
in
quick.
the
Just
house,
a second.
and we're going to talk him into jumping on.
I already pulled him on. We did the same thing to Aaron. He wasn't
Yeah.
even like dressed or anything.
I'll try and wake up.
So Greg McClarty, the famous Greg McClarty from episode 7, is back on the show.
He owns an okay physical therapy place.
Yeah, it's all right.
Yeah.
That place sucks.
How you doing, brother?
Good. How you guys doing?
Doing great, man. Here, let me just adjust that for you. Yeah, just kind of tilt it down a little bit so you can. Yeah, there
Aaron
you go. Get
fucked
your
it
face.
up. It's
Yeah,
Aaron's fault.
Aaron was standing up because he was trying to show off his pecs. You know how he is.
Fucking Aaron.
Fucking Aaron. But how you been, man?
Good.
Yeah?
Yeah. Recovering. We went to a wine place last night.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
Copper. I don't remember what it's called.
Copper Blues?
No. That
No.
wasn't it.
Is that place even open anymore? Copper Blues? Remember that?
I don't fucking. Is
It
that
was-
like a whiskey bar?
Nah. Well, kinda. It was like when they redid the Tempe Improv and the Phoenix Improv, they had Copper Blues. It's the same owner, and they did like some crazy shit there. But I don't even know if they're open anymore.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
You know that? So where? Damn, I can't think of any names of anything right now. But
You must have drank a little bit last
Yeah.
night.
I drank some last night. Where the living spaces is, there's like a little wine bar there.
Living Space. No, I'm not. I'm familiar with it.
Which side of town?
Gilbert.
Like South Gilbert?
Santan.
Tojo doesn't go to wine bars. He's not a grown up.
Yeah.
Ah, okay.
I don't drink wine.
He's still a kid.
I don't either.
I'm
was
not
actually
fancy
drinking
enough.
vodka, but
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Gary, where's the whiskey at?
so yeah.
Yeah. So what's up with you? Are you back training, or what are you doing?
Yeah, I've been training. It's been a little more sparse lately.
Okay.
But, just I'm crazy busy right now, man.
Good for you.
It's
good.
Crazy
That's good.
busy.
Sorry about that.
No, yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I had like a 40% like burst in my business. like,
Beautiful.
out of nowhere. So.
Oh, that
so-
sucks. I feel
Yeah.
bad for
Yeah,
you.
that's terrible. What the hell's wrong with you? What are you doing over there?
I actually just saw one of my morning guys is having some neck issues, and I was like, he's like, anybody know a good physical therapist? I'm like,
As a matter
as a
of
matter of
fact,
fact, I do. I was like, don't go to fucking any of those like physical therapy places. It's like they don't know. You'll be like, oh, I keep getting Kimura and my shoulder hurts. It's like they're not gonna know what the fuck you're
Right,
talking about.
yeah.
You know what's
Stop
funny?
doing that.
Like
Yeah.
when my athletes get like injured or tweaked or something, they're always like, "Oh, I'm going to my chiropractor. I'm doing this." I'm like, "Why would you go to a chiropractor?" Like, I don't
Yeah.
know. There's some benefit to it, but you want to get that looked at by
It
someone who
stimulates my prostate.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I'm good with that. Yeah.
That's everybody wants that quick fix, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not really. They do help. They help you feel good right away,
Yeah.
but you're not really fixing that
Because there's more
The
going
issue?
on underneath, right?
Yeah, some chiropractors will be like, okay, now here's some exercises to do and stuff
Yeah.
like that. But yeah, if you're just like popping it and then being like, okay, see you later.
It sounds
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
a good chiropractor is a makeshift physical therapist.
Yeah. There's some guys out there that are doing like their actual like strength and conditioning certified and stuff
Yeah.
like that. So
But that's kind of like outside the scope of general chiropractics, right?
not really.
No?
It's not outside the scope. Their chiropractor's scope is actually a lot bigger than what you would think.
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what I mean? But some chiropractors will hire physical therapists on, so
Right.
So it really depends upon the chiropractor. But if you're going to one of those places like the Joint,
Right, yeah, that's
they're
different.
They're
yeah.
just gonna pop you, and then you're
Yeah,
like
then
walking
you're
out
out.
the door.
You're like, I feel great, and then next morning you're like, oh, I'm stiff again.
Yeah.
All I did was sleep.
What about acupuncture? You want to shit on them a little bit?
No, they actually have they have a big place.
Yeah.
I think-
Acupuncture or dry needling?
No,
Ooh,
so
good question.
Because they're different, right?
And it depends upon the acupuncturist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're very different. The only thing that's similar is that you're using the same needles, right?
Right.
But certain acupuncturists will use like more Western medicine, and a lot of times they'll get good results out of like pain relief and stuff like that. But
Like poking needles into your chakras aren't fucking doing shit.
yeah,
That's
like,
right.
yeah. If you have low back pain and they're putting them in your feet, then you're probably not getting like as good of results.
Gotcha.
You're just getting more holes in your skin.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
but they do have like a lot of evidence for things like smoking cessation. And,
Okay.
Like,
Really?
like weird, like yeah, they actually have good evidence.
How much of that
behind
do you
them.
think is placebo?
Who cares? As long as
Right.
it works.
That's,
Well, yeah.
If it works, I don't give a shit.
I'm not gonna lie. I use placebo all the time. So it's
And whatever you can get to change behaviors, right?
right. Yeah. So
Yeah.
for me, it's like if I can, I don't do this anymore because I just don't have the machine. But I used to ultrasound people, and it's got terrible science behind it. But like, if I can get somebody to exercise because I ultrasounded them,
Right.
then,
Yeah.
It's
Done.
It's
Yeah.
worth it,
Like if that's what they think needs to happen, then you do that, and then
Yeah.
throw in
Yep.
a little like real stuff in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I'd have people come in like, I just want to be ultrasounded for 40 minutes, and I'd be like, not by me. But
I'll give you 5 minutes, and then we'll do some real physical therapy. And
absolutely. Yep. So,
Well, listen, man, we're going to wrap up in like 20 minutes. If you want to get some rounds in, now's the time to do it.
okay, awesome.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
All right, brother. Thanks for coming on.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
boom, boom. Am I in the way?
Greg McClarty, guys, out of Scottsdale, Arizona.
Control Physical Therapy.
Control Physical Therapy. That's right. And great person, and he'll do you right. He'll take care of you. And I always feel better when I walk out of there. I mean,
What's most important, I tell this to everyone I talk to who's like has a nagging injury or whatever, and who's like looking for a physical therapist or a chiropractor. I'm like, 99.99999% of those physical therapy places, chiropractors, is like none of those guys know like the stresses that you're putting on your body through jiu-jitsu specifically.
Yeah.
Right. And you might not think that's important, but when you like have seen both sides of that, you realize that there is a big fucking difference.
Oh, 100%.
And Greg is a brown belt in jiu-jitsu, so he like knows. Are these his sunglasses?
yeah, we'll steal them.
Yeah.
Are they
mine.
Ray-Bans?
Those are mine now.
Yeah. Oh, they're Ray-Bans, dude. Totally take them.
But like a lot of people like underestimate like how important that is, because like I've had friends who've gone to like regular like ATI or whatever, like physical therapy, like those kind of like you see them on like every other corner.
Yeah.
Right. And you go into those places and you tell them like, so here's my issue, blah 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 blah, and they're like, I don't know what a Kimura is, or I don't know what an omoplata is, or whatever.
Or worse. They're like, hey, we're going to get you on this program. It's $3,000, and you're going to come in 3 days a week. Look, brother.
Is that Nick Nelson? Damn.
Is it?
Yeah.
No. Mm-hmm. Is it?
I think so.
Interesting. All right.
But anyways, like it in my opinion, as a guy, jiu-jitsu black belt, has had like a real knee surgery.
Yeah.
I had to have my LCL rebuilt. I don't think there's a substitute for having somebody who knows that, like, I'm not just, I don't need to, like, just be able to walk upstairs.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
Right. Which is like which is the majority of the population, right? As someone who's trying to, like, start a physical therapy place, it's probably like that's probably like all you should really focus on is like the majority of people who are like, all right, I just need to be able to get out of my car, walk up the stairs in my house or whatever. Like that's all like the stress they're really putting on their body.
Yeah. Versus
Versus someone who is an aging athlete, like, you know, I'm Masters 2, you're Masters 10 or whatever.
5, not 10. Dick.
But we're constantly putting like stresses on our knees or elbows or shoulders, like all really like susceptible to injury joints, right? And it's like that's not like the normal like, oh, I just need to be able to walk upstairs. Right?
Yeah.
And having a physical therapist that understands that, it is pretty priceless.
Yeah. No, agreed. I think that also along those lines, remember when Paul had his heart attack?
Yeah.
And he, you know, obviously was in the hospital, and then he went to go see his cardiologist, and he's in the waiting room, and everybody was, you know, at least 10 years older than him.
Yeah.
And extremely out of shape.
Yeah.
I mean, just really bad. And the doctor's like, what are you doing here?
Yep.
You know? But if he would have had a cardiologist that dealt with like real athletes like Paul is, it would have been a different story. Like, you know what I mean? Like I guess the point is like find a doctor that fits your lifestyle.
Yeah, 100%.
And I think that's really important because with the exception of my my ortho, Doc Zeman, shout out to Doc Zeman. He's a badass motherfucker, man.
And he's the one who repaired my knee.
He's a badass dude.
Let me tell you guys. So if you're looking for an ortho, like maybe you popped your ACL, maybe you popped your MCL or LCL or whatever, you have any injury. I popped my LCL. I had surgery. I think it was something like August 28th. Before the new year, I was training again.
Wow. Yeah.
That's like 3 months. 3 months, and I was back to training more or less 100%.
That's awesome.
Short of like the mental part where you're afraid to like, you
don't quite trust it.
Yeah. But like I was able to train 100% within 3 months.
Wow.
He knows his shit.
He really does.
And we were talking about, he's an older gentleman, and we were talking about this. It's like, man, when that motherfucker retires, I can't get hurt anymore.
Can't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like,
who do you trust?
Who do I trust to go to? Because like I think we just got lucky. We just found a guy. Because I went through him because you went to him.
I went to him because Heston's been to him.
Yeah.
And Heston basically should have like a coffee cup with his name on it and his own parking spot at Doc Zeman's. So Heston told me how many surgeries he's had since he started jiu-jitsu. Now he started jiu-jitsu around 46, 47.
Yeah.
And I think he's had 9 surgeries. And he's come back from all of them.
Yeah.
And he's going to have another one because of the accident that he had. He's going to have his wrist reconstructed. And all he can think about is how to get back on the mats.
Yeah. And going back to kind of what we were talking about with Greg here, I think there's something to be said for an ortho who like specifically focuses on like athletes, especially professional athletes.
Absolutely.
Because professional athletes don't want good enough.
Right. Yeah.
Right? Which is what you'll get at most orthos. It's like, well, I mean, we'll make it so you can walk again. I was like, yeah, but that's not what I want to do. I could walk right now. Right. I don't need an LCL to walk.
Yeah.
Right? I want to be able to train, compete.
Yeah.
I want to be able to do my sport. I'm not quitting my sport because of this injury.
100%. And for me, like I make my living with my body. Mm-hmm. So to say that I trust Doc Zeman is an understatement.
Right.
Right.
And like, how many people have you heard who've gone to like an ortho because of an injury and they're like, you need to quit doing jiu-jitsu?
Yes.
Fuck you.
Fuck you, pal. Yeah. There's so much to be said. Well, like I was saying, like all of my doctors, every doctor I have in my life is a jiu-jitsu guy.
Yeah.
Or like a Doc Zeman that deals with athletes.
Yeah.
So it's just like there is no, like if you lead a lifestyle, if you're a runner, find a chiropractor, a physical therapist, whatever, that is also a runner, because they can keep you running longer, and they understand that there are no off days.
Yeah.
They understand that you're going to run in pain, right? They understand all of those things that you're going to do as an athlete, because we just don't know any better. Or we don't want to know any better. Like, I don't want to know what it is to sit on my couch for a fucking month.
Yeah.
I don't want to know what that's like. I want to be on the mat, grinding it out with my team, getting my ass kicked. I'm 50. I'll be 51 years old this year, and there is no sign of stopping.
Yeah.
There's no. I think about like what I'm going to be in 10 years, and I'm excited about what I'm going to be in 10 years.
Short of being quadriplegic, I'm like,
wow, yeah, there's that. but
like a lot of these guys just think like, yeah, you don't need jiu-jitsu in your life. You're like, well, you know what? Yeah, I also like. Yeah, I can also just sit on the couch and you're right. I can live that life.
Yeah.
And then I'll fucking die when I'm 50.
Yeah.
Or 51.
51. Hey man, if I go tomorrow, I'm happy, man. I've lived a great life.
Hey,
I have a great life.
Your age is one of your children away from me.
Yeah, that's true, man. Yeah, that's wild. Yeah.
Maybe not quite, but
why do I even like you? Jesus Christ.
Either you're a young soul or I'm an old soul.
Yeah, you might be. But
old.
I have a guy in my one of my students is a guy named AJ, and we were talking the other day, and I was like, he was talking about like dealing with pain and dealing with all kinds of stuff, and I was like, how old are you? And he's like 38. I'm like, you're a kid. Yeah, like 38. Shit, to be 38 again. But 38 is
it's all of a perspective.
For jiu-jitsu is pretty old.
Yeah,
38 is pretty old. But
I'm 37 this year. Like. Masters 2.
Yeah. Wow. 37?
Yeah.
Wow.
I think
you're too old to hang out with me.
Ask Kelsey. She'll tell you.
She'll tell you. Yeah. She has all the proof, all the certificates, everything you need.
It's not my job to keep track of how old I am.
Fuck that. That's somebody else's job.
Yeah.
Let's get back to the roll for beer for a second.
Yeah.
Because there's certain things that I want to bring up. So, Aggro Brand.
Yeah.
Aggro Brand, they went from I think it was Aggro Brand Fight Gear to just Aggro. And Eddie Welch is the owner with his...
Episode 23. I don't know what episode it is.
With his brother...
He was on.
Tommy,
yeah.
Tommy's birthday. Happy birthday, Tommy.
Yesterday.
Yesterday?
Yesterday was his birthday. Hey, he's right there. Go ask him.
Tommy. Birthday today or yesterday? Happy birthday yesterday, Tommy. Happy birthday, buddy. But Eddie works long hours. Eddie travels almost every weekend.
Mm-hmm.
Eddie does so many things for the community. Do you know what I put that guy through? Hey, Eddie, I'm doing a fundraiser tomorrow. Can you donate stuff? And he always comes through.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm the worst, by the way. And Eddie is awesome. He always treats us really well. And he still puts in the time to try to bring the jiu-jitsu community together by putting on these events, and it's
more
amazing.
More specific than that, like Eddie, I think Eddie and his brand are very representative of Phoenix Jiu-Jitsu.
100%
in general, because he is very he's first of all he's got this really cool niche in the ADCC. He was at the trials last year. He was at the Open. That's really good for his brand.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah.
But Eddie is also when people see Aggro, that's Phoenix Jiu-Jitsu, which is
100%.
Which is a testament to how big Arizona Jiu-Jitsu is in general.
That's a really good point, man. Because back when we started, Southern California, in the United States, Southern California was a place.
Yeah.
And then we started growing, and now we have, man, how many Aries schools do we have in the Valley?
Basically,
11?
all of the top Aries guys either train in Phoenix or come to Phoenix to train for big tournaments.
Yeah.
We have a lot of the big Aries guys. Samir was in town recently.
Yeah.
But at Cashinho's gym in Goodyear, man, he's got especially at the adult level, he's got the
world
heavy
champions.
hitters.
Yeah,
he's got the heavy hitters over there.
Yeah.
And it's and in Phoenix in general has become that with Gustavo Dantes, you got Megaton, you
Tanquinho.
got Tanquinho.
And oh, by the way, he has a world champion UFC fighter now.
Yeah. Yep.
Dude, how stoked were you last night? I was fucking stoked for Arizona, man.
I don't know how people can't support that man.
Yeah, exactly.
Sean O'Malley is just the underdog story to a T. He's likable.
Yeah.
He's a character. He's marketed himself well. He's also just fucking really talented.
Yeah. And I love what Aaron was saying, he was so fucking nervous last night.
Yeah.
And that guy is swagger.
Yeah.
He is swagger.
You and I were talking about that, or I mentioned it before one of the matches. How fucking nervous do you? How much pressure do you think that guy's under?
Insane.
Insane. Even going to Worlds, it's it's not the same.
But you think about it, Okay, so for those of you that didn't hear earlier, Sean O'Malley does local tournaments, like jiu-jitsu tournaments.
Yeah.
And at those tournaments, he is like, not swarmed, but he takes a photo with anybody who will ask.
Yeah.
Adult, kid, it doesn't matter. He is such a genuinely nice person, at least outwardly. I don't know what he may kick puppies when I'm not looking. I don't give a shit. But in public, he is like all about the Arizona community. So basically, he carried the Arizona community on his shoulders last night into the ring at UFC.
Yeah.
And he fucking
The
won.
biggest MMA stage in the world.
By the way, the biggest numbers to date. Dana White was talking about, he said Bruce Springsteen played that venue like the month before, the week before. And
Who?
Yeah.
Is that old people thing?
Yeah. And he made I think Dana White said he made $5 million at the door. UFC made $7 million. It was the biggest door. That's what it is. Not pay-per-view. It was the biggest door event that they've ever had. In Boston, fucking like we're talking like one of the craziest sports cities around.
Yeah.
Like that dance party that we were talking about earlier, that's Boston.
Yeah. The entire town, yeah.
Get up here, Nate. Pull up a chair. Yeah,
You're tucked in I had to piss.
All right.
All right. You got your chair right there.
Just throw the headphones on.
Smells better, dude.
This is left, right. There you go, my friend. Slide this over. Do you need me to lift that a little bit? Or are you good?
I think
okay.
I'm good, dude.
All
I
right.
need to get super close, or
Nah, yeah, so you got to eat the mic, basically.
okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
So this is, what's your last name? I don't even know your last name, brother.
Steen.
What, Steen?
Steen.
Steen?
S-T-E-N.
I'm here with Nate Steen. And he is, are you the manager here? Are you general manager for?
I'm the production manager.
Production manager for Goldwater.
Yeah.
And so Nate and I have been teammates for about 10 years. He was a blue belt. I was a white belt when I first started. Took me under his wing. I love this guy. Been whipping my ass for about 10 years. We rolled about a year ago, and you passed my guard. Don't think I don't fucking think about that every goddamn day. But when I heard we were going to get the opportunity to come to Goldwater and do this podcast and do the Roll for Beer, I was super excited, man. So thank you for making this happen.
Thank you guys for making it happen, man. It's been quite a while since I've rolled, so I was excited to get me back into jiu-jitsu. I was hoping this give me a little kick in the ass to go back to school and get, not be a purple belt while you're a black belt, which I'm super ashamed of. So, but I want to get training again and get going again. This has been a blast, so I'm glad to do it, and I would like to do it more regularly too. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
So.
I always look back at the old photos from the old school, you know, when it was Nava BJJ, and it was like the puzzle mats in that little space. You know, it was after he was renting space from the karate schools. Like he got his own spot, and I look at those old pictures, man, and we had such a good fucking team, dude. Taking over bars after tournaments, you know what I mean? Winning tournaments in Vegas, and I miss those days, man.
Yeah, we had a team that trained hard, a great competition, and then after the competition, we always went and partied hard. It was always a good time. Everybody got along. There wasn't any major fighting or anything like that. It was always a great time, always a bunch of great guys, still a bunch of great guys I see all over the place, all over town. It's awesome.
Yeah,
so,
man. Yeah.
Good community.
Good. Yeah. So tell me about you. How did you get involved with Goldwater? Because you were at the Scottsdale location for a while, right?
Yeah. So I sold beer, wine, and spirits for a long time. I got into the beer game, selling different beers and stuff like that. And I was selling these guys beer, and they needed somebody to do sales at the time. They were in their first year, so they hired me on. I went over to them and started selling beer for them. And then it's kind of just as we've opened more locations. My job's kind of transferred. We don't sell as much beer anymore to other people. We just have 3 locations now. We're working kind of on a 4th location. So most of my stuff's just in Goldwater, making sure the beer's moving to the right places, and we're getting rid of it, and then places are staffed and ready to rock. So
yeah. So do they do their own? Do they do their own brewing, or do they just are they tap houses?
No, we do all the brewing in Scottsdale. The other 2 are just tap houses, and the 3rd will be a tap house. So we can basically run 4 tap houses out of the 1 brewery in Scottsdale.
Wow, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Yeah, and the beer is phenomenal. I mean, you guys do a great job, and the atmosphere as well. This is my first time at the Tempe location. I've only gone to the Scottsdale location, but that setup is really nice.
That's the original, and it's super unique, and I love it down there. It's an old gun store, gun range. So downstairs we have the lager tanks and old shooting barrels down there. It's definitely a cool, unique spot in Arizona, and I think we make great beer too. So I'm glad I'm with these guys. It's been a very enjoyable ride for me to have good beer and a good place to do this and finally actually get some jiu-jitsu in here is also a blast.
Yeah. Do you ever?
All right, guys, quit talking about me.
Do you ever take your gun out there and just start blasting in the fucking basement?
We had some airsoft rifles, but City of Scottsdale said no projectiles with alcohol. So
that makes sense.
very
That's probably a good
secretive.
idea.
That's cowardice. Yeah.
No projectiles with alcohol. I like it. How did you find jiu-jitsu, man? What was it? What stage in life were you in? How did that happen?
I think you were a child, right?
I was pretty damn young. I was at a party, and I met the Lolly Brothers, and I was not running my mouth, but I had trained with Ken Shamrock when I was a baby, right?
Yeah,
My dad worked at a group home, and it happened to be called Shamrock Ranch, and so Frank took those guys on, Ken and them, and so my dad grew up with them, so I grew up watching it, and I always loved the sport, so I was kind of young, and I never really trained, and I was kind of saying something about them one night, and those guys, they were jocking they knew the Lolly Brothers. If you know the Lolly Brothers, they're pretty tough ass little dudes, and they were giving me some shit, and then they're like, well, come into the gym we own, and I'm like, I don't know who these guys are, so I went to that gym, and Gustavo happened to be there. So then I started training both, and in the beginning I was stupid. I only trained stand-up for the most part, and it was really dumb on my part, and then I started
that's more attractive, I think, right? Throwing punches and shit, that's more attractive than grappling, I think, at first, right?
It's a little less technical, so it's a little more simple.
I don't know if that's less technical.
Than jiu-jitsu?
I'm trying not to get punched in the face by somebody listening to this fucking show.
It's
so.
both super technical, but there's no better shape you can get in than rolling jiu-jitsu or wrestling. There's nothing that intense to me.
Yeah. Well, it's that like your body just goes in that like, oh, I'm fighting for my life, even though like, oh, all I have to do is tap or whatever to get out.
Well, I found that when I have a really tough training session, I'm physically tired, but I'm more mentally exhausted. Trying to figure out the other person, right. I get just mentally exhausted.
Yeah. So I started training with Lolly Brothers back at Arizona Combat Sports, and then I slowly got into Gustavo's program and rolling with those guys, and I moved with them to 3 locations, and then when Paul kind of split off and did his own thing, I went over with Nava and started training there. And I took a little break in between there, and then I've been kind of not getting back super strong since the pandemic, but I need to get back into it. But that was my original journey.
I wanted to tell you, I want to take the opportunity to tell you, get off your fucking ass.
You
get
lazy
off your fucking
shit.
ass.
It's pure laziness.
Yeah,
absolutely. At this point,
and there's things like you were establishing a new career basically, right? In the same industry, but new. You came in year 1 with Goldwater. I didn't know that. Like they were in their first year.
Yes.
Is that what you said? So they were in their first year. Yeah. And
You've been that long?
Yeah, and he's been selling
Holy
beer
shit.
for them. That's what he started doing.
Well, I thought you were just like part of some sort of beer distribution company. I didn't know.
That was what I did before this. So I used to sell them beer and just kind of chit chat with them, and they were looking to ask me questions and looking to do sales more, and so I was trying to help them along with that, and then they ended up just wanting to hire me. So I took the leap, and it was great. So it's been
awesome.
Super enjoyable. But no, being not in jiu-jitsu is pure laziness. There's no other excuse than that.
And are you in the Tempe area? Or, is that where you live?
I'm right down the street, so I'm in Quintuck and Ray. This is definitely my neighborhood.
Yeah.
So
Very
Soul
cool.
Fighters right down the street from me, and
Yeah, so we were just actually talking about that with Aaron. Get ready, Soul Fighters, because you're going to get like 1,000 new white belts now that Sean O'Malley just won the UFC title.
Yeah.
And I mean, basically, honestly, like if you join that club, you can have access to Sean because he just trains like everybody else.
Yep.
He just.
And Taquino, I mean, he was the ADC champion
right.
at 155, so that's
Sean O'Malley.
awesome.
Yeah.
Sean O'Malley.
But like Taquino,
Why isn't Tanquinho like at the forefront of our list?
We're in the United States. He's Brazilian.
Yeah, I know,
He's
but
very quiet.
People
He's
love
super
Americans.
reserved
Yeah, and he's
quiet.
reserved. Yeah, that's true.
And plus we fanboy over Q. I mean, rightfully so. He's our guy. But I mean, if there's a 1 and a 1A, Tanquinho's got to be one or the other, right?
For sure.
Yeah, I mean,
But
he's done it all.
Americans love Americans, right?
Yeah, but Tanquinho's done it all.
it's the reality. Like,
That's true. Yeah, I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Yeah, but
I mean,
anyway,
technically Brazil is in the Americas, but
Yo, bro.
that's true. That's true.
Kinda adjacent. I'm just kidding.
Logistically,
I was
it's
kidding.
South America. We're in North America. But,
There's an imaginary line, okay? There is an imaginary line.
Everyone knows America is short for the United States.
we own America's name. Dude.
It's North United
No
States of America
central,
and South United
no
States of
southern.
America.
So
It's
when
all us.
when I was
Canada.
so when I was a kid, I lived in South Texas. So like we went to Mexico like all the time. Half my family was there. Most of my family was there. And the first time I heard the United States of Mexico, I was like, "What the fuck are they talking?" I was like 6. You know what I mean? I was
Yeah.
like, "That doesn't sound right," but it is. It's the United States of Mexico. So
Wait, is that their full the Mexico?
Los Estados Unidos de Mexico.
Wow, I just learned
You gotta
something.
say it like that though.
Yeah.
Estados? Tostadas. Day.
Exactly. Yeah,
Sodas
exactly.
and empanadas in Mexico.
Yeah. So it's Anyway, but yeah, man. So okay. So did you get your blue belt from Gustavo or from Paul?
I got my blue belt from Paul.
Okay,
And I got my
okay.
purple belt from Paul also. So
Yeah.
I was with Paul a long time. Like I said, I did not use Gustavo like I should have all the years I was there. I wrestled in high school and I thought that was good enough. Clearly not. So did a lot of stand up with those guys. I wish I would have took G into more. I didn't realize who he was at the time.
Right, yeah.
And he was definitely the best trainer at the time in those early 2000s for sure. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, back in the early 2000s, what did you have? You had Megaton. You
Yep.
had Gustavo. Maybe Jay Pages was here. Maybe
Carlos.
Ages
Carlos
was
was
like
out
late
there.
2000s, right?
Yeah.
Carlos
Carlos
Faria.
Frias.
Yeah.
It was very limited.
Yep.
So you were kind of lucky to be in the Tempe area with arguably the best grappler in Arizona at the time.
Yeah.
Maybe him and Mega, right?
Yep.
That's.
They're all like different divisions.
Yeah, but Gustavo's a world champ, right? Purple
Sure,
and
yeah.
brown.
Multiple world
Yeah. So is
champ,
Carlos,
Brazilian
isn't he?
and
Like,
yeah.
Carlos Frias, Carlos Frias was like number 6 in the world at the adult division, like
Yeah.
recently,
Yeah.
like
He's
within
one
the
of
last
most
5
awarded
years.
guys in Arizona, I
Yeah,
think, at this
yeah,
point.
Yeah.
So Carlos is legit. I mean, obviously they're all legit, and Mega is like a legend for everything he's done in the sport. I mean, he was the first Coral belt to do. I think first Coral belt to do adult worlds.
Beat an adult, yeah.
Oh,
Like you basically have to be like 80 years old to be a Coral belt.
You got to be a black belt for at least 30 years, I believe.
Yeah.
yeah. Tim
Yeah.
and Carlson Gracie.
Isn't that what I said? 80 years old?
That's not 80 years. He's not 80.
He's timeless, dude. I don't know how
He
old
is.
he is, but he still kicks my ass every
he's
time.
still a
so.
fucking savage.
He's a
yeah.
savage,
He is
dude.
an animal.
Like
Yeah.
I see him compete at Master Worlds, and I'm like, why? Like, why is he competing against old people? You know what I mean? Like
He still does adult locally, I think,
Yeah.
doesn't he? Yeah, he's
Yeah.
a maniac, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he competes too much locally, but he did do Worlds this year at adult
at adult.
with his Coral
With
belt.
his Coral belt, yeah.
And speaking of which, I thought it was really cool that so Cacheño did his last adult Worlds this year. And when he lost in the qualifiers and he gave his belt to the guy who beat him,
Yeah.
I thought that was really fucking
That's
cool.
classy, man.
Yeah.
That's kind of the equivalent of the wrestler, leaving his shoes on the mat when they
Yeah.
retire. So that's
I mean, Q is a martial artist.
yes, absolutely. Yeah, the first time I saw that, like in person, I think was Homolo when Homolo retired.
Yeah.
He gave his belt to the guy, and I was like, wow, that's fucking
What a cool
classy.
gesture.
Yeah, that is cool.
Could you imagine being that guy who beat Q and you're like, I have Cacheño's black belt.
Yeah, like that's a gift, man. That's a real gift. But so if you were to go back to training, what would you focus on? Like, what would you focus on your let's call it your game, right? Forget about physical
the game's
fitness because
changed
you're
so
at
much.
yeah.
I'm just kind of interested. I like try to figure out all aspects of the game. Obviously, I'm always a top heavy guy, but I definitely need to work on my bottom game a lot better. But I just want to finish and get my black belt. So I want to compete heavy. I want to be in it. So when I'm in it to win it. So
Speaking of heavy, what weight are you right now?
215 right now.
Oh, so you're right in super heavy.
Yeah.
Super heavy round.
Yeah, I always drop down to 208 usually, but yeah.
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 Well, that's not bad.
I mean,
if
you don't
go
look
to-
fat or anything. Like, you look
Appreciate
lean right
that.
now.
Thank you.
You're so polite.
I know. I mean,
A lot of
fat.
drugs.
He's fat as
A lot
fuck.
of
I'm just kidding,
heroin
guys. He's
is
fat as fuck.
managing me.
Yeah, he does that shit with all the needles. What's it called? Heroin. That's it.
Keeps me heroin chic.
But I mean,
Did you say heroin chic?
yes. You never heard that before? Dude, but you got a fucking cool location here. This Goldwater location is awesome. It's so like I love like the open, like the rafters and everything. I think that's fucking really cool. It's a good
Yeah, I appreciate it. We got to get a neon up and a couple other things, but we
Yeah.
just got some riffraff and cactus back here. We got a few little things to touch up and get done, but
Yeah.
we opened in May, so we're just finishing a few things. But
Well,
yeah,
some
it's been
tech
great.
houses feel like dungeons.
Yeah.
When they got the
Yeah.
low ceilings and shit, and I
Yeah.
fucking hate that. Like have you ever been to like Sleepy Whale?
Yes.
Like that big open, like that's what you guys kind of like remind me of that like kind of atmosphere where it's like big and open.
Yeah.
It's like, this is a cool
You want
location.
it welcoming, warm,
Yeah, I
but,
love it.
So,
Yeah.
So let everybody know where they can find you. Where are you guys located?
So we have one on Scottsdale and Goldwater in Scottsdale, which is the original tap house and brew house. We're on Priest and Ray here right now with the Tempe location, and then we also have one on the North 202 in Wrecker.
Nice.
So those are all three spots kind of hitting the valley, and we should be coming probably to downtown Chandler.
It's 202
sooner
in
than
Wrecker,
later.
huh? Okay.
North
I
202.
thought you guys had one more centrally in Gilbert. Didn't you have
No.
one in downtown Gilbert?
Nope.
No?
No, this is it right now. We've looked in a few spots, so I mean, this will be our fourth in it, but yeah.
But you guys have like blown up. It's awesome.
Yeah, this is
good.
awesome, man. And I really love that you were at the starting, when they first started, within the first year. That's
Yeah.
really cool, man. Because
It's my favorite brewery in Arizona.
Yeah, for sure.
If not ever. Like, honestly, like, I don't know very many. Like, so I'm drinking Birthday Suit right now. This is my favorite IPA. I don't know very many IPAs that I would be like, I'll have that instead of the Birthday Suit.
Yeah, and is everything? How many taps do you have right now going? I mean,
I think we have like 13 or 14 taps. We're missing a couple signs right now, but we try to keep it anywhere between like 12 and 20 beers on tap, which we
and
all
it's
brew
all
at.
your guys' stuff, right?
Everything in Scottsdale. We keep cider on from Cider Core, the local boys downtown.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
we have some other things.
Which is
wine and
veteran
stuff in the
owned,
fridge.
right? Yep.
Veteran-owned guys. So, and they're great dudes. We always keep like 3 taps on for them. We sell a lot of cider here, so
Awesome.
cool.
Yeah.
keep some options for other people.
Does
but mostly
Goldwater
it's
not
all
do
our
any
stuff.
ciders?
No.
Yep.
You have to have a different license in this state to have to make cider.
No
Yeah,
shit.
because I was wondering, because you have like the margarita cocktail thing. Is that like?
So it's an agave wine. It's kind of our way around not having hard alcohol.
Right.
And so, yeah.
So it's kind of a margarita, but not.
Yeah,
technically?
it has that margarita kind of flavor to it, and lime flavor. It is definitely a little bit sweeter than like what you get with a margarita. But if you ice it up and salt it up, it definitely has the same feel. But
Nice.
Right.
it's our way of having like a cocktail kind of inspired
Right.
stuff
now
without being
is everything else brewed by you guys?
everything else brewed by us.
Wow.
So we try to crank out 2, 3, sometimes 4 beers in a week. So we usually have one or. If you come in every other week, we usually will have a couple new beers on every single time. We only
Love
keep
it.
like 4 of those beers as cores on all the time.
What are the core Goldwater?
So Birthday Suit, Hop Chowder, Machine Gun Teddy, which is our brown ale, and the Desert Rose, which actually is not on right now, but it's a Cactus Kolsch. So
Okay.
those are really our 4 that we keep around all the time.
So anytime you drop into any of the Goldwater tap houses,
Yeah.
you're gonna get that.
And Hop Chowder is one of our most famous beers. That's one I sell to a lot of people. Not a ton of people, but
That's a hazy, right?
Yeah, it's a hazy IPA.
Okay.
That
Is
and
that what
Birthday
I'm having?
Suit,
Is that what I'm
that's
having?
what you're
Yeah.
having. So that's what you'll see at bars, restaurants, sometimes in bottle shops and stuff like that. We keep a few things, but yeah, that's our mainly distributed beer at this point. So
Nice, man.
yeah.
So we're wrapping up for the day. Luckily, we got the cameras working for the most part. My editor's got his work cut out for him to make us look good. But
Poor guy.
I really appreciate you inviting us in, man. I really appreciate you giving us the opportunity to do a podcast here.
What a great location.
Yeah.
Hey man,
great
this has been
location.
awesome for me. It's good seeing you guys. It's been a long fucking time and too
Yeah.
long. So I miss you guys. Are definitely 2 of my favorite dudes I used to train with. So I was
Thank you.
excited to
Thanks,
see you
brother.
guys come in and everybody else that I haven't seen forever. Eddie and Greg and all.
You need to
those
hurry
guys,
up and
so.
catch up and get your black belt.
Yeah, dude. Quit
I need to
fucking
get
around.
back on the horse, dude. Get it. I feel like a failure, so
Yeah.
I need to get it going. But
Right
I appreciate
on.
you guys having me here and doing it here. So
Thanks, brother.
thank you.
Pleasure, man. Pleasure. All right, everybody. Hey, if you love the podcast or if you hate the podcast, just give us a review on Spotify or YouTube. I haven't worked on the website yet, but we're working on that now. I actually found a guy. That's a website
Tell him
guy.
how bad he sucks.
So, yeah, tell me how bad I suck. But listen, you can find us on Instagram at the BJJ Foxcast. We're also on everywhere you can find a podcast. And please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and that helps us a lot. Guys, thank you so much for doing this.
Hey, thank you.
Hell yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.